We're live. Welcome everyone back to the DJ Live podcast. Another Tuesday night here on the YouTube interwebs. Tonight, we got Erik.
Hello, dude in glasses.
Erik, the dude in glasses over here.
Guy in the glasses.
Not apparently he's not important. Rick Webb as always. And tonight we have DJ MoeJoe.
Yes, sir. The other dude with glasses.
The other dude with glasses. You don't always wear glasses, do you?
No, dude. Seeing my eye doctor tomorrow, so I'm kind of wearing my glasses today.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, DJ MoeJoe is out there in LA, right? You're in Cali, LA region.
Yeah, I'll say Cali area in West Coast.
West Coast.
Beverly Hills.
And
straight up Beverly Hills.
he's high on the.
I'm not even joking.
clientele.
I thought you were.
Whatever.
Oh, I wish I could say that. No,
You're
I'm not.
is.
You're
He's
still a
Beverly
solo
Hills.
up, right? You still a solo up, right?
Yes, I am still a solo op here.
Dope.
You can't replicate the MoeJoe.
No, you can't. I remember when I first saw MoeJoe on the interwebs. It was the video you did DJing in the mall. That was like one of the first videos I stumbled upon of yours. It was. I mean, this is like 5-7 years ago at this point, but.
Oh, dude, I think I know what you're talking about. It was at the Anaheim.
Yeah, you were just DJing in the mall, like right at the bottom of an escalator, and there's an escalator below you or something like that.
Yeah.
That was like one of the first videos I found of them, and then your video on replacing the caps on the board, like the chrome keys.
Yep. Yeah, chroma keys.
Those are the two videos that maybe stumbled upon. I was like, this dude's actually.
I actually didn't realize that you were a YouTuber. I guess that makes sense. Of you being in the little mix of YouTubers.
yeah, with everyone.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah. Those are my humble beginnings, dude. Like back in 2015, that's when I actually started like recording content. Mm-hmm. And dude, my first vlog was so cringy.
Yeah.
You know, but we all
to be fair, people are pumping out vlogs for years now, and theirs are still cringy. So there's a positive for you.
But that's why me, him, and Bar all got together. We all started right around that 2015 range. Like that's when I started uploading my gig logs and everything. It's like
really,
2015. It's when I had the YouTube channel before that, and I posted some like speaker reviews and that. But like 2015, I think in like May is when I started like posting. May, when wedding season kicked out, I started posting these like recap videos. I didn't call it a gig log at the time. Just
how long have you guys been like event DJs? Not just DJs, but like event
10 years.
DJs.
This year is
10 years?
year 10.
Oh, congrats to you, man.
2012.
I would say about 10 years. 2012. I think that was like legit, like actually getting paid. Where strangers, people who I don't really know, hire me, because before then it was mostly just like friends and family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2012 is when I first started doing weddings. In like 2010 and 11, I did like backyard parties, some high school friends, 16 birthday parties.
Stuff.
Yeah, but 2012 was the first year I actually kicked off. I think I did 5 weddings. The next year I did like 12, and then I jumped into the 20s. And that kind of wrote out, but
that's cool.
That's awesome, man. Cool. We have a similar storyline. I think DJ Bar too. Maybe.
Yeah, he does. Except he's got the club. He's got the club background that was before when he started YouTube.
That's why I even asked, because I figured maybe you guys started out in bars or something and moved on to event. I don't know.
No, I was strict. I started. I don't know. I started in events like birthday parties and everything. And when I got to college, I dabbled in club and bar, which made me a lot better as a DJ. And then
it definitely is a different ball. It's a different monster.
It is
DJing for a bar, or a club, like whatever you want to call it. But
yeah. What about you? Did you do clubs and bars beforehand?
Not originally. I think I did that while I was doing events, but I would say my events were my bread and butter.
Yeah,
really.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of missed it though. I mean, it was really fun.
Yeah, bar gigs and club gigs or busy bars, whatever, are the mixing is different. The energy is different. I mean, it's different. It's more fun. It just is more fun. I've definitely had fun weddings. Don't get me wrong. Weddings are fun sometimes, but you show up, you have a laptop, sometimes you have to bring a controller. You just plug in, you jam for 4 hours or 3 hours, and you're fucking gone. It's just a different thing, you know?
Right. Now you just really focus on the music, less stress.
Right.
And just
dirty edits. If you play clean edits, they're like, what the fuck is that? You know? That's always nice. The clean version of Get Low just reminds me I'm in a wedding. You're like, it's just so cringy.
So, MoeJoe, for the audience's sake, because I think we covered a lot of what you do. What do we miss? Like, what would you describe? What do you do day in, day out in terms of your business? What's like you do high end business, solo op? What is it that what is that makes your business tick right now?
Yeah, you know what? This whole journey, I mean, being DJ for about like 10 years, 12 years, I'm a solo op, and it's really about just mastering the craft. I mean, there's so much more, whether it's just diving deep into the music, learning how to become a better communicator, because now I also added the service of me being an MC. And that was a challenge that I had to add on. Before I was strictly just DJing, but then based from my friends like influence and their commentary and their feedback, like, hey Joe, you would really crush it if you learn how to MC. So I've been focusing on that skill. So anything revolving around just really performance, stage presence, communication, the way you talk, gear to enhance the experience for the crowd. Like, there's levels to this game. So I mean, I wish I could just travel the world right now and just like relax and all that. But this is what gets me excited, is because the more I learn and the more I apply it, then the more I do good or do better. And then hence there more money, great reviews. And it's just a whole cycle. Like, I've noticed that the work I put in equates to things that come, the work that I put out, I receive like just as much coming in.
Yeah.
So day to day, man, like it varies really. Like, we're solo op. It's easier to run a business when you're on your own. So that way I could really focus on just becoming a better person that can apply to performing. So, I mean, that's vague, but I mean, I could go deep on it, but like, that's what gets me excited. Just becoming a better person every day. Really.
Cool. So I remember when we created the topic, you wanted to talk a lot about like sales and not being pushy with sales. And I really didn't know where you wanted to go with that topic, to be honest.
For sure, I know, right?
I will admit, I know nothing about that.
Come on.
Not being pushy.
Right. That's something I cannot relate to.
So what is your sales funnel? Like, where are you getting your leads from nowadays? We talk a lot about the back end here, like where you get your leads, what are you funneling your leads through, and what's your strategy?
This is a great topic, man. Like, I know, like when I brought it up to you, I was like, I know that's a very broad topic and different ways how we can go about it. I mean, I kind of like with broad. I made some bullet points.
Okay.
On like what I can talk about.
Cool.
Wow. Well, that's fucking great.
This is what we want. This is what we've been waiting for a guest that actually had fun.
Yeah, all our other ones fucking sucked. No,
we're just kidding.
Shout out to all our great guests.
Oh, bro. But I guess to give you some context, right? And I'm gonna save that towards maybe like the later half. We'll see. I want to make sure that the audience understand like where this is coming from. So through my journey as a DJ, like, and where I get my leads now for the most part is through online recommendations, venue referrals, wedding planner referrals, like all of that. So two things that, like, for the lead generation, I don't do any advertising anymore with Wedding Wire, The Knot. I used to start it up just because I had to put my name out there and build the reviews and just really grind it out. But then eventually you'll come to a point where you can really focus more on like the referrals that actually do value, and the word of mouth is so strong. So now it's there's some venues that recommend me, wedding planners, some photographers. So it got me thinking, why do they recommend me? I mean, obviously they don't know how I work. I mean, like my sales process, my funnel, they don't know much about my online presence. They just see me perform. And so that's what clicked to me. And I've noticed that the best clients that I get are because they actually, because of referrals, because they actually value what I do. And instead of like online, like if you see it on an ad, you have to like sell yourself so much that I don't think it's worth it. You know, whereas like the word of mouth and the kind of content that I put out online, especially on YouTube, which I'll get about too, and I'm so grateful for YouTube, is like people, it's just so much easier when they already understand the value through the word of mouth and just the content that you put online. So I guess really marketing and in your online presence, but also the way you market like the day of, like the actual wedding day. Yeah. Because you are who you like, you know, what you put out.
Yeah, you are the product.
You are the product.
Yep.
So that's what I really believe, and that's why, like, in this game for a while, like that's what really gets me going, because I've noticed that the more I put in, then all those things come in. So, but yeah. So, anyways, with that, leads coming in, right? And like I want to share some nuggets for you guys. Like, get on YouTube, guys, because Google owns YouTube, right?
Yep. Yes.
And from what I know of, and I've gotten some inquiries because I'm not sure if this happens to you, Rick, and I don't know anyone else out there, but because I tailored my videos, tailored mostly for the clients and some for the DJs, but the clients really appreciate how detailed like the videos are, and it really kind of paints the picture of what it's like to have a wedding at that particular place. And then also just being able to, I guess, just really share a different perspective than all the wedding videos that you see from the professional videographers, because they're creating a story for the client, but no one's looking out for like what's it actually like at a wedding day. Like, not polished, but just, hey, raw behind the scenes. Yeah. And it makes it more personable and relatable. Like, okay, it shows your thought process, and that's kind of untapped right now in like the market. Like, people want to know how you work. Then, I mean, we all promise like one thing as an outcome, but how can we show that we actually know what we're doing? Yeah.
So do you got any, just butt in here, but do you have any, do you bring along someone nowadays to film for you? Or because like this is something I've been going through personally, is trying to figure out how to balance performance and being able to capture everything.
It helps a lot, tremendously, when you have an assistant. And there was a time when I had a DJ assistant and a dedicated videographer, but now my videographer moved. She was so great, but it's so hard to find some talent. But so right now, for the meantime, it's just my DJ assistant, and that person captures video for me. And I have a specific shot list of things like I want to capture, so that way I'm not missing out on anything. And I have a whole process when that happens. Some videos are great, some are maybe I won't post up online, but at least I get some content that I could possibly share on, whether on Instagram or on YouTube.
You have a shot list?
Yeah.
You put that up for sale yet?
I should.
People would buy that. I would buy that.
A shot list?
Dude, you're a YouTuber. You don't need a shot. You already know.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see what you value and what I might be missing. Like a shot list of like, we need a video clip of the first dance, intros, that sort of thing.
Oh, I thought you meant like a list of people you were going to kill.
A shot.
I was like, I got those.
Too much
I got a couple of those lists laying around.
Shot list. Yeah. That's funny.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, little things like that, man. But yeah, no, having an assistant helps. Like, it's, I mean, yeah, they're also like act as a roadie and just a second pair of eyes. But I try to keep them busy with just helping out with video, just capturing video. Yeah, you said you have one too right now, or are you?
I always bring an assistant, but
I was his assistant the other day.
Yeah, he was actually.
I stepped in.
But the problem right now is all of our lighting is still on Show Express. I'm trying to switch over to Sound Switch, but like the assistant always has to do the lighting and the video. So depending on which assistant I bring, like in Erik's case, in Erik's case, he came to the wedding where they told us not to film. I always asked them prior, like, can I film for YouTube? And this one in particular said no. We couldn't film for YouTube, so we didn't have to film anything anyways. We filmed some Instagram clips, but that's all we could film. But normally I get assistants. I'll have certain ones that are really good at balancing both, certain ones that are just all about the lighting, and I have to sit there and be like, can you fucking film something? Can you get that right? And then I got other ones that all they do is walk around and film, and I'm like, dude, you got to change the lights. Like, they can't be doing the same red, blue the whole night.
Sure.
So that's why SoundSwitch going to make my performance a lot better by allowing that to just kind of be right there for me to kind of change up on the fly if I need to, and it'll do its own thing throughout the time. And then they can be dedicated to filming and getting content. So. Oh,
totally. Yeah. Let me know whenever you're setting that up. I can probably help you out if you need to.
I already got I appreciate it. My one DJ, Marcellus, that works for me. He's been on SoundSwitch since they started. So.
You're good.
he's already created all the stuff. I'm literally just taking his export file and adding it into my SoundSwitch right now. Yeah. I went through a little hurdle with SoundSwitch. It wouldn't work on my computer. Windows 11 issues. But the Aussies figured it out for me.
That's awesome, man. Hey, that works. Cool. You know what? I'm also kind of curious too, like going back on the topic of sales, like I wonder what kind of challenges other DJs are facing, like when it comes to it. I mean, have you encountered some challenges like handling your sales, or
there's a lot. The thing about it is you stepping back. Okay, so my approach is obviously very different from your approach. Sure. And you look at where the leads come from, what you have to do to convince those leads you were worth X dollars, whatever that dollar amount is, and then what is X dollars? How do you find all these numbers, and how do you whatever? So you example, premium price, whatever that may be, doesn't really matter, but you're probably on the upper end of things. Most of your leads are direct referrals, finding you online based on all of these dope ass looking videos, blah, blah, blah. You really build, there's a legitimate factor when people are looking for DJ MoeJoe that they don't have when they look at me. It's just how, I mean, we have 5-star reviews and a shitload of them, but our leads are coming from the internet. They've never heard of Oak events. They've never heard of Erik Massengale, whatever the fuck. They just, to convince them we're worth, let's say, double the price that we are, or whatever, like a seriously expensive price. Yeah, they would just be like, oh, well, we'll just go with the next dude with 200 good reviews because he's half the price. You know what I mean? Because it's because of where they come from. If it was strictly wedding coordinators that are like, you need to go hire Oak events, period, the price is not really a factor all of a sudden. I mean, it's a factor, but like
they're not going to do as much research.
A bride is, let's say $1,500 is like an average price where we live. Yeah. If we charge $3,000 for the same thing, a DJ charges $1,500. Well, a bride, if their wedding planner, coordinator, whatever you call it, says go hire that $3,000 DJ, assuming it's in the budget and they can afford it, it's a done deal. It doesn't matter that it's double the price of the other dude because it's a safe bet. Now MoeJoe, he might be double the price of his competitors, the multi-ops in his area. He might be even more. But because these venues and these coordinators, and he has all of this evidence that he's dope, and it's videos of him, you're buying MoeJoe. You're not buying a company with insert DJ and a roll of the dice kind of thing. He's able to charge that, whatever that premium price is. And and like, I know if we're not booking 30% of the people we talk to, like on the phone, we're fucking up, or we're charging too much, whatever that may be. So, and if we're booking 90%, we're not charging enough. So, you know what I mean? We need to find that sweet spot kind of thing. And I'm sure, there's a lot of details to it. I'm rambling now, but
I'm sure. No, that's amazing. No, I'm glad you shared that, because I don't know how that world kind of works as a multi-op. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of things to factor in and try to find that sweet spot, right? Because like you don't, but you're right. I've heard that concept where if you're closing too many events, 9%,
it would be different if there was no limit of supply. If I had a literal unlimited product of DJs, different scenario. We may as well close 100%. Who fucking cares? Because we can just sell another and sell another. But if you have 10 DJs, 12, whatever, however many DJs, the second you book 10, you're full. You can't book another. So if you know I'm booking 90% of the leads, so I'm going to have 8 months, I'm full 8 months prior. Well, you should be full 4 months prior. You know, like you undersold yourself, you know. And it's I don't know. It's hard to find the sweet spot. You got to kind of constantly be like aware of that shit. Right. I adjust my prices constantly. I'm like the king of pissing off my salespeople because they're like, quit changing the fucking price of everything. Because I'm just like, oh, we did 30%. Need to fucking drop our prices, book more.
He's the definition of that meme that's like, or was it today's price is not today's price or whatever?
Yeah, I mean today's price is not yesterday's price.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
I actually literally on this podcast just got an email from someone, and I haven't dug into it, but
you just saw the clip.
She was like, "Oh, I was checking out your pricing page and noticed that it's different than what's on my contract." Or I don't know. I haven't dealt with it yet. Ooh. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, it is what it is. I don't see the thing about it is, let's say we dropped our price $300. I don't know what we did, but I would just be like, "Oh, glitch, whatever. I don't give a fuck. All right, $300 off. Don't care," because we're just trying to book. I have 17 DJs. You know, her date's on a Friday. There's no chance we will not. There's no chance we'll fill up. It just doesn't matter.
Right.
So who cares? You know.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, from a multi-op, and then, like, yeah, you're right. I mean, we all sell differently depending on our I guess our business model. And then
multi-op is huge. If you got a lot of DJs like Eric, it's huge on leads. Like, you just need to get people, lots of them through you, to run them through the process and book your percentage.
Right.
When you're in a solo op position, it's all about making yourself the best possible thing you can make yourself with the content you got, which is why YouTube and all that plays into it heavily, and building your network heavily, because those referrals and everything are what it's going to get you that double price point.
Yeah, I'd also imagine that you turn down clients
a lot.
Maybe not
because you're not available.
You definitely. Well, I'm talking about like maybe the bride's a bitch, you know, or like it's a like you don't mesh with them.
Do you ever tell someone that I don't think we're a good fit? Like, do you ever do that? I'm curious.
I think I have. I just can't recall. Maybe like happens rarely, like once or twice.
Well, you're just a bro. You're just a good dude. I feel like more people in the solo op position be like, she was a bitch, so fuck her.
Oh, dude, no. You know what? Kind of surprisingly, it's the opposite for the most part, because it's so weird because they've already seen my videos. Like, they already know how I am.
Yeah.
That they just resonate with me for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because like, oh, that's how he is in his videos, then okay, I could probably easily get along.
Yeah. It's like walking around those conventions with all the other DJs, and they walk up to you and they're like, they just instantly snap, like they're like talking to you like they'd known you from
know you.
It's like so 5 years ago, and you're like, slow down. What's your name?
What's your name? I don't know.
Who are you?
I feel like
I know. I'm still not used to that, bro. Like, but yeah, no. I mean, I think that kind of helps too. I mean, just it kind of filters out the people. I've noticed the people who don't really know me that well and they still inquire me or reach out to me. Yeah, those are the ones who, you know what, they're just being skeptical. They just don't know. Or maybe they've been searching for so many DJs. Like, I don't know where they're coming from. You know, maybe they just got from work, you know, and they're just not in the mood. Who knows? But but in most cases through my sales process, like for the most part, I get clients who already like, at least they filtered out some of the things that I'm not trying to attract.
So speaking of your sales process, I remember when we were in Vegas talking about this, you pretty much funnel everyone through Calendly as like the first step in the sales process. Like you have to set up a consultation is the first thing in the whole sales process, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I do remember sharing that with you. Dude, it worked. I mean, everyone works it differently. It works well for me. And this has been a process that I've been trying to figure out for a while now. And I think I've locked it down to the point where I'm not wasting time. And that's the thing. I don't like to waste time with, I mean, I do what I can, obviously. And, but what it really does, it filters out several things. And if you find a process that works, figure out how you can do more of it.
Yeah.
Because before, I used to do Calendly with my Squarespace form, with my number there. And I've noticed that whenever they reach out to me through phone number or through my Squarespace form, they're not the exact clients. I mean, I can't really describe it. It's like, they don't really get it. Whereas, so that's why I removed it. So if they really want me, they have to go through my process. They have to go here.
Yeah.
You force them to check out all of your content and really do a little digging before because no one's going to literally just jump off the blue. DJ MoeJoe, okay, schedule a call. Exactly. Maybe they do, but most people is going to click around on that website and try and figure out what the hell you're about before they go to the link.
Correct. And that's the thing. I'm very big on websites. And something that I've learned too is you really want to analyze your website and see what areas where they can venture off and be distracted. If you go to my website, all the buttons that I have on there, they all go to that page with my Calendly. I don't want them to check out my mixes in a separate page. It's one landing page for weddings. Mm-hmm. And then all my goal for that is really just schedule a call with me.
Yep.
And then what happens after that is the great thing about Calendly is that after they schedule that call with me, not only do they book a time, they've also answered some questions. So I can already get a sense of who they are. They did it in one step. And then the next thing with Calendly is that I made a custom page on the back end where they get redirected automatically. And then I share something like, this is like a preparation guide. Before we have your call with DJ MoeJoe, I've prepared some things for you to check out before the call. Mm-hmm. So that way our call can be productive. Mm-hmm. So because you have to think about the problems that people have before they get the call. They may have like, oh, who you are, what do you do? But no, I made them do their homework first before we hop on the call. Mm-hmm. So during that time of them just waiting till that call with me, I'm already trying to hype myself up.
Yep.
So that was my little strategy behind it.
That's good.
And so by the time I have that call, like we can just connect and not worry about, so who do you do? Like, have you done this before? Like just all that time wasted, mm-hmm. Like when you could have just saw the material that I have online.
Yeah.
So when do you drop pricing in your funnel? Do they know the pricing before they jump on a call?
They know my minimum before they jump on my call.
Is that like on your website already posted there somewhere?
Yeah, it's on the form. So it's only listed, and I'm sharing this because it's already there. You guys can check it out. Whoever's watching this,
he's
can
not
check it out.
sharing the nuggets.
So to go to djmoejoe.com and then weddings, mm-hmm. and then they click on one of the buttons, and then they scroll down. They see on Calendly my questionnaire, right? They schedule a day or time, and one of the questions that I ask, because in this process, I'm trying to qualify them, the date, what kind of vibe they're going for, music, also qualifying them on their budget. Mm-hmm. I asked them, what's your budget like for entertainment? And then I give them 4 options. 1, I don't meet DJ MoeJoe's XXX minimum. And then that's the first option. The second is this bracket from this bracket to this bracket, and then this bracket plus. Mm-hmm.
So they know the first bracket is your minimum, basically.
Exactly. and then you'll be surprised where some people choose the I don't meet DJ MoeJoe's X minimum, and then they still schedule a call.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they show up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's it kind of puzzles me, like why would they still go forward with the call even though they put that?
They're probably just going click.
Schedule. It could be that. But I was thinking, you know what? Maybe people are just curious, and like, and there's also another question there, and you'll see, it's another qualifying question. It's like, hey, if you have the, if after speaking with DJ MoeJoe, if everything makes sense, like, are you willing and ready to invest, or to book or invest, right? And then for the most part, people say yes, and I'm trying to get that at least from them, so that way during the sales call, and it is a sales call, but I try not to call it a sales call, but like those information is something that you can always tie it back to. Hey, by the way, like I'm enjoying the conversation so far. I've noticed that on the form you put that you're not ready to invest, or that you didn't have you don't meet my minimum, and maybe can you kind of share with me what you had in mind, or what's the budget like, or I don't know, you can probe, is what I'm saying.
So what were you thinking booking a phone call if you can't afford me? Just curious.
Because I wanted to
say it in a nice way, man.
I wanted to see if you could match Joe Schmo that does it for 500, but like
I was just wondering if you think my time is invaluable, or what your deal is.
So,
in a nice way, right?
I know a lot of people, and I don't know if you were going to share some stuff on this, but do you have any tips on sales calls in terms of like pro tips on sales calls, closer tips?
Yeah, J-Book wants your best closer tip.
Yeah, he wants the best closer tips. So.
Closer tips? Oh, bro.
How do you secure the beans here on the calls?
Secure the bag. That's what the kids are saying.
Bag, beans, whatever.
All right.
Dog shit.
All right, J-Book. What's up, J-Book? Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, I'm happy to share some tips, and obviously there's more to it, but this is just one of them that I could probably share. So, depending on the conversation, if things are going well, if you know what, we vibe, they like what you presented, what you shared with them, and they feel like you could be the right person for the job. You ask them some questions first, just to make sure that, one, there's several things you have to check off. Like, one, you have to make sure that you are the right, like that you actually can do it. Like they believe that, this guy's capable. Second, you also would want to know if you are the right person for them. And then I forgot the third one was. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting.
Do they meet the minimum? That's the third.
Just meet the minimum.
that was the zero. So, that was number 0.
Oh, yeah, right. That's before that.
So one thing I ask is, like, after we talk about all these things, now we're trying to transition into the pricing or just the closing tip. Towards the end of the conversation, I say something along the lines where, hey, you know what? Like, I enjoyed our conversation. I mean, based from everything that you've mentioned and about this or this, like, I believe I can help you. I mean, how do you? And then I say something like, hold on.
Think about it.
I know. It depends on how you want to say it. Like, it takes two to tango. Like, I feel great about it, but I want to make sure, how do you feel about this? Like, do you feel like I can help you out here, and making sure that you guys have a great time at your wedding day? Something like that, where you show that, because you're also qualifying them. Like, hey, you're not always trying to get the sale. Like, you want to make sure that, one, like, they're your ideal client. Like, oh, I love, like, depending on your criteria, they want hip hop, pop, EDM. I got you. Remixes, club style, and then that's why. And based on this, I've worked at this venue before. So you let them know, hey, I'm for it. Like, it's a relationship. That's how I view it as like, hey, you know what, based on what you're telling me, I think we can really rock this out. And, you guys seem like a cool couple. I would love to work on this project with you to make your wedding great. But obviously to make this work, it takes two to tango. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Do you have any of that scripted?
Huh?
Do you have any of that scripted for your calls, or you just know it?
I just say it.
Gotcha.
He doesn't read it off the thing. He just says it. Okay. Yeah. He just
yeah.
Anyways,
it's recorded though. It's recorded, guys. You can just go back to the replay and just like take down notes.
No, I just like the way you were looking for like, what do I say? The two to tangle. I was wondering if you had like a script or something in front of you where you like, that's like one of the lines. Like it takes two.
Oh, dude,
it's like a sales kind of script.
He did say two to tango like 3 times back to back, so it sounds like you say that specific line.
That's what I was wondering. Like you have a specific line you say, you just do it all the time.
I say two to tango because it's a reference to dancing and music, and it's easier to comprehend, especially as a DJ.
I can't do the tango,
but I guess like to most people. What was that?
I said I can't do the tango.
I can't do it either.
I don't know what the tango is actually. I've heard the saying though.
So to close up with Jay, J Books, like, so you asked that question, right? You're just qualifying, like, before even asking for the price. You just making sure that before you ask blatantly, hey, do you want to book me, or do you want to move forward? I want to make sure, like, I check off their box, meaning like, am I the right guy first? Like, how do you feel? Like, I just checking they call it temperature checking, temp check. Hey, but how do you feel? I know we talked a lot so far, and I feel like blah blah blah, but how do you feel? Like, just making sure that I understand where they're coming from with all this. So once I hear that, that's a tip in its own. Is like, it's showing that you really that you're really being considerate of how they feel, and that's how you can talk about the objections first before even going about pricing or anything like that. So you handle any objections as early as possible. Objections could be a good thing, really. So that way they're interested, depending on what it is. But it's a way to they're showing that, hey, like, if they feel like you are the right person, but then by asking questions like, how do you feel? You can really dive deep into what's really holding them back, or what's the main concern. There's another question that is really good to ask is, like, is there, and it's not word for word, I'm trying to remember it. It's like, is there any uncertainty? Like, I know before we move forward, or is there any uncertainty that you can possibly think of that this wouldn't work out?
Man, you sound like a car salesman.
Hey, man.
Something like that.
Sales, bro.
Oh, no, but something like that. But obviously you have to do it with the right tonality, and just like, hey, you know what? Like, I really, you have to come from a place where you just want to make sure that things are good, because you don't want to go into a relationship and, you know what, like, where someone is like half-assing it, right? But you want to make sure that, hey, I'm all in, and this is going to be like a collaborative effort between us, and I'm really to give my 110%. But how do you feel? Like, are you ready to take this leap? Or, oh, like, I've noticed that you're kind of hesitant, or something was a bit off. Like, you can call it out.
You're kind of
like,
being a bitch.
See, that's the difference. They don't do that normally. See, I'm thinking of those random phone calls you get where they try and sell you something like, this sounds like a great fit. What do you think? And I'm like, no, that sucks. And they're like, well, it sounds like a great fit, like you just said. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny. Those are the same sort of questions that, like, they always ask those questions, but the difference is they don't ever consider what you actually said. It's just like they're reading a script with those sayings. But
and I definitely want to share my 3 points, and that comes into the 3 points I prepared for that.
What do you got?
Tips, because that's the thing with the sales. Like, you don't want to sound like scripted. Like, you don't want to just ask, what do you think? But if you notice that I gave it some context. Like, I gave them what I think too. Like, my opinion matters too in this. Like, I'm not just trying to get the sale, but, and I'm letting them know that, hey, you know what? You're my ideal client. Like, you guys sound fun. You do this. And then I'm sharing my thoughts on them as a client.
Yeah.
and then I get to hear what they think of me as a DJ.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that way it feels more natural and not being like you just ask. So what do you think? Like, no, we like, it's kind of a give and take. It's
gotcha.
It's like that. Hope that helps, J Book. And that's just a little thing.
So you got 3 points you wanted to share?
Yeah. Let's share them. So, and by the way, I've been looking at the chat, but if you guys have any questions too, feel free to ask. And
there's one. We'll circle back.
We got one. We'll circle back. It's not on the topic we're on right now.
Sure.
But
I'll actually have Rick. I'll have you answer me the question. I won't look at the chat. Just you be the mod.
Yeah, we got it.
Got it. So 3 things. The first one that has been kind of a game changer for me, because I understand sometimes reading scripts, or you're supposed to say this and that. When you are just reading a script, it takes away the human element out of it, and you're just. Anyways, my point is, you want to try to understand them, and by understanding, like, you're really just trying to figure out like whether this is a good fit for you, and this is working together is going to be a good fit for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you have, like, it kind of ties in with my point number 3, which is like have a normal conversation, is really just that. Because if you're the DJ and the MC, they want to know how well you communicate and understand them, because that translates in the way you will connect with their guests. Mm-hmm. And how you MC. Like, and it's kind of, and I do my sales calls through Zoom, so I could actually see them.
Right.
And I record it too. Mm-hmm. But anyways, like, that's how I believe, just having a conversation and make it feel more naturally, where they share something, you don't just go to the next question, but I sometimes probe in, like, oh, you mentioned you want your wedding to be fun. Like, I know fun has different meanings. How do you mean by that? Mm-hmm. Or, you know, what have you been? And then if they're struggling with that, I go deeper. Like, hey, so have you been to a wedding recently, or have you been to many weddings yourself, that maybe you can share, you know, what you liked, or who knows, possibly what you didn't like. Mm-hmm. And then I can see that. And then they share with me something, and then I don't just go to my next part of a script and like, hey, I totally get you. I've been a guest before, and I've actually noticed that too. And then kind of makes it feels awkward, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. You know, you try to relate to them.
Yeah.
So that way, because that's the number one thing. I've asked them at the end of my sales call sometime, if I remember this, is when you book them, you also ask them, hey, you know what? That's great. Like, hey, you know what? So excited. Hey, thank you. I'm really excited to work with you. It's great that you like to move forward. And I'm just really curious though, like, what kind of made you decide to hire me, like to choose me, if that's okay to ask you, mm-hmm. something like that. And then one of the things that they share with me was because they believe that I understand them. Mm-hmm. They just want to be understood.
Do you ask that before, like at the end of the sales call kind of thing, like you're about to send a contract? See, I mean, not to interrupt you, but I think that's
you're good.
That's a great closer to make them tell you why they're about to ask you for a contract. You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty good closing method. That's some reverse psychology shit, I feel like.
Right. Yeah, and which was one of my points too. I'll do that for my second point. But understanding, I mean, we're all human, and I think we are really like, once you understand the other person, their main problems, their concerns, like, they just want to be able to, like, just ground things, break it down really into, because we're coming from 2 different angles. Obviously, as a DJ, we know so much more than they don't, but we have to tone it down enough where we can level up and, like, okay, I get you. Mm-hmm. And then depending on how you communicate with them, then you can share your value and what you present and what you do, what you can possibly do for them. Mm-hmm. Oh, you talked about this, like, totally get it. And like, why do you think that's important to you? All right. Yeah. So that way you can see, like, yeah, it bothers them, or you can ask them, what do you think that is? Or why do you think, you mentioned that the transition of the music, like, you didn't like how the DJ didn't mix the music. Like, why, out of all the things, like, why did you bring that up? And then you can dive deeper. into like, oh, it just felt weird, like people didn't dance, and I don't know, it ruined the mood, right? So it's giving you more feedback, more ammunition into like their pain, so that way you can kind of relate to them more. But obviously you will bring the solution afterwards, and this is how we do it, you know, and all that stuff. So understanding, like, and that good communication will definitely translate that to communicating as an MC as well. Yeah, that's how I believe. Because if you connect with them at this level in a sales call, like imagine what you can do to connect with their guests.
Right.
So
cool. Yeah. Totally different approach. I will say that again. Totally different approach. I love it though.
Yeah. So anyways, that's number one.
Okay.
I like it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. How do you want me to continue with number two, or how do you?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. People are liking this.
Okay. Cool. And then number two is what you pointed out, Eric, was, I know it's reverse psychology, but like there's different ways how to persuade someone. You can tell someone, right? Or you can command someone, but the best way to really persuade someone is them selling themselves by you asking the right questions. Kind of like what I did at the very end. Like I really wanted to lock things in instead of just waiting for the yes, let's book you. Like, okay, great. Let me send you a contract right away. But sometimes I double down on it and just be like, you know, hey, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, what about what I shared with you so far kind of like, you know, what took you that made you decide to lock me in?
Yeah.
You know, just to solidify and hear those reasons. So that helped out. So that way they're repeating the reasons back to them.
I was about to say they're repeating them out loud. And then also if there's two people in the conversation, then they're both hearing the perspective without them having to have a private conversation.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that helps out. That talks it out too. And that could be, and this could also help you out too when, well, actually I'll go back to, I'll focus on number two. So I even ask questions like in the beginning too, when they first reach out to me. And then I ask them, so like, I saw that you found me on YouTube. Like what about like YouTube, or what videos did you see that, or which videos that you see that kind of attracted you to reach out to me? So I get to see, oh, I saw this video on this venue, and I saw how you did this. Like, and then I probe in deeper. Like, oh, that's great. Like, what about those videos did you see that was helpful? You know, so I probe in. Like, oh, I liked how you showed this or that. So it's okay to probe deep. Like, ask some questions so that way it works in your favor. And then you're also, if you're recording your sales calls, you can also use that information that they share with you, like in your marketing.
Right.
Or, hey, pay attention to that. That's what they've noticed. And if the average consumer notices that, you know, then maybe make more content like that because that's what stood out to them. So it's really good picking out their brains more to feel like what's working, what's not working. Like don't be afraid to really go deep with your clients. So that way, I mean, you may have an understanding. This goes back to number one. You may have an understanding of what they're trying to get at. But if you know exactly like what that is, like why are they saying that particular problem? Like, hey, tell me about that. Like, have you experienced that at a wedding? They can go deeper into it. They can get into the emotion, and then really think about it as a real problem. Like, why is that so important to you? And they're answering their own question. Like they're saying out loud. They're actually processing it out loud why it's a problem for them.
Yeah.
And then it's making it a reality. You know what? Oh, and by you asking why is it so important to them, it shows, and they tell you why it's so important. Then it's a big problem.
Yeah.
Without you saying it, they said it themselves. So it's like some ninja stuff, you know.
Yeah,
it's like
ninja
ninja action right there with questioning.
That's some high level sales stuff.
You read the book or whatever, the how to win friends and influence people, something like that. I can't remember the exact title. I feel like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. I can't remember the exact title. It's like how to win Friends and influence people. Yeah.
You ever
kind of like that? I've heard. I haven't.
Can't remember what that book's called.
I don't think I finished the whole book.
Oh my god! I was like getting excited reading it because I was like, I'm gonna fuck everyone over. not literally
win people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's like stupid understanding of like how to make people convince people that they're what you want them to do is the right thing by making them convince themselves.
Yeah.
In a way, it's like super.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously, like, you don't want to force anything upon someone, but you want to see where their thoughts are coming from.
Exactly. That's
good. And that's what it's all about, because I mean, that's where you can gauge whether, you know what, this client, like, we're gonna connect, we're gonna vibe together, or we're not. Mm-hmm. Or like, hey, they don't know too much about me yet. And then if that's a problem, like, and you have to pay attention to some of the objections that you get at your sales calls, and then try to figure out what can you do to overcome them.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why even before this, that's why I talked about after they schedule through Calendly, how are they going to learn more about me, and making sure that I can at least be, show I'm competent with what I do. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, like, I have to wrap things up soon. I have another meeting soon. I wish I could stay longer. But I'll keep going. Can I share my number 3?
Yeah, go ahead. What's 3?
Yeah. Number 3 is detach from the outcome. Really detach from the outcome. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Because the reason why we're being pushy is because we're thinking that we're desperate. We need a sale. No, we don't. And actually, like, it kind of works in your favor, because like, you're really coming from a place where you have their best interests at heart. Like, you're really, I mean, you have to be generally do it for, hey, just making sure you guys are the right fit, because when you guys are the right fit, you guys are going to rock together.
Yep.
So, and if it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah.
And if anything, the next one will come along who will vibe with you.
Yeah.
Same thing with relationships, right? So, I mean, I'm trying to find something relatable that people can relate to with that. But it's just like, hey, people come and go. You know what I mean? And there are people who click with you, friends, or some people who don't like you. Mm-hmm. It's fine. But at least you are being you, and just be strong with your strengths. Like, know your strengths and know how to portray that. And you know what? There's going to be people who resonate with that with you.
Yeah.
But I guess a tip for everyone out there is really find out the reasons why your existing clients book you. Either after the event or during the booking process, and find out their experience, and use all of that as marketing material, and actually think about it. What's actually working? What's not working? Focus on what's working. That could be your strengths.
Gotcha.
And you can put in your marketing, so that way you can really put it out there. And knowing confident, because obviously you've booked clients before, you've booked weddings, and I used to have that feeling of, you know what, like, I take it personally. No, at this point I don't anymore. Like, hey, we either work together or we're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think what helps a lot is really creating a process to begin with, to filter out the ones that are not going to appreciate who you are. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big key thing. So that way, when you're at the sales call, you can just have a good conversation, and just really connect, and without, hey, being pushy.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Those are my 3 tips, guys. I don't know. Oh, okay. I'll leave it up to Q&A. Or
I love how you actually came up with a list, and it was organized, and we
appreciate that. Honestly, it was good. Awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Honestly,
normally we just
99% of the time when it's a solo op person, I'm just sitting here like, like, that was so fantastic. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm saying, but like,
it's so different from what your world is.
All right. So sometimes when people are solo ops, the reason that they're solo ops, and they would never say this, but what I'm going to say is because they can't fucking handle sales. That's the reason. So they're just going to maximize and work less. And that's the whole reason. You are not that. Clearly. You clearly get the whole thing. And you're still maximizing for just you, but listen to all the fucking shit you just said. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this dude fills the hell out of his calendar.
I know. Year. Like I said, he is like one of 5 DJs that I actually follow.
Yeah.
There's 2 quick questions I saw in here that are worth asking. And you don't have to go into detail. You just like yes or no, honestly. But because me and Eric can go into a little more detail on a couple of these. But do you charge different pricings for different dates and times of years?
That's a good question. No, I don't. That's all the same.
Just all Friday, all Saturday, Sunday, Monday, wedding. They're all the same price.
Do you want me to explain a little bit? Sure. Maybe it'll help.
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go briefly. It's because it's the same effort and work that we put in. And yeah, I mean, everyone's still going to get my best no matter what day, because I'm still putting the same effort.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, a day is a day.
So do you cap yourself in terms of total number of weddings for the year, or do you have like a set? What's your cap?
Good question. I am now starting to cap out at 52, because the past few years, man, it was always like mid 60s, and I've noticed I've always kind of burnt out. So I'm trying to lower the number of events that I do. So I mean, unless someone gives me a ridiculously offer, hey Joe, we want you, maybe I'll do a 53rd wedding for that year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to limit it.
I don't know if this one's slightly, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of an out there thing. But the idea of actually on your Zoom call having a setup and being able to do a mix for them live.
I don't, without even I would imagine that is not even what the clients are looking for.
They're not. But,
you know what I mean? Like, at least with this conversation that he just explained, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, you can mix the music? Perfect. Okay. Next conversation. It's so much more. That's that's just kind of like what happens while you're there. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
The conversation and the how you relate to people thing is more the call purpose.
It's far from the focus.
Focus. That's the focus of the call, is the conversational, making sure you click and vibe as like partners. It's a relationship, like you said earlier.
Right. Cool. I'll just elaborate really quickly on that. Because sometimes like we're so tied up into the little details about like the music stuff. If people are asking, if the client's asking for that, like maybe I'm talking in a general sense. Like, I could be wrong, but they could be asking the wrong question too. Like, I mean, it could be, instead of just me going right away, oh, let me mix for you then. I can ask them, why is that important to you? Or like, hey, can you try to show me like, where is this coming from? So I know like, is this something important to you? Like, have you experienced something where the mix wasn't right? Like, so probe. I always ask questions. Like, so you don't do it right away, but you try to understand, which goes back to my point one. Why are they asking that in the first place? Yeah. Because they have an underlying concern about that.
That's man, you're good. I'm telling you. You're good. I like it.
Definitely. Yeah. You said you got to go though.
I've like one more minute or so.
Oh, what you got? 10 o'clock exactly, and you're jumping right off this.
Yeah. So, okay, I can do one more question really quick.
I don't.
I think that covers.
That covers pretty much all the questions. Most of our questions come after the fact on comments and stuff like that, and listeners and the DM and stuff like that. But
appreciate it, man.
This is truly going to be a valuable thing for people to watch and learn from and hear. You got a lot of knowledge up there, MoeJoe. Especially in the sales department, man.
Yeah, dude. This is great.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
You do have some things, I know, projects you're working on. You do a little bit of coaching and stuff like that. Where can people kind of find out about what you're doing and some of the projects you're working on?
Sure. Besides my Instagram, DJ_MoeJoe, follow me at Wedding DJ Mastery. It's another Instagram page, or weddingdjmastery.com. I mean, I'm on a mission just to help DJs like us and solo ops, because I've been in your shoes and it's a whole business thing, you know, operating on your own. So Wedding DJ Mastery, I'm trying to put some courses out, do some coaching, whether it's MC, performance, sales, kind of like the stuff that we talk about, and we can really go deep into the process and setting it up the right way and just really making sure that we're getting better. Yeah. And that's the whole point of mastery, is because I'm mastering myself. I'm not perfect, but I'm doing whatever it takes to master this craft. And I want to share that with other people who are similar mindset.
Yeah.
MoeJoe is going to be on some stages here in a few years.
I was like sitting here thinking, like, damn, MoeJoe should be like doing seminars. Like, I'm so tired of seeing seminars on how to fucking run an Instagram. Or no offense, because I actually have a buddy that's about to do that exact seminar coming up, and I am now a dick for saying that. But it's true. That same how to run Instagram is like every fucking convention.
Well, that's because half of them are still on Facebook and barely understand Facebook. So
I don't lean on Instagram at all.
But
it's whatever. Okay.
Anyways,
anyways, like, hey guys, I really appreciate it.
We appreciate having you, man.
Great talking to you guys, and we'll keep in touch, guys.
Cool.
Absolutely. Follow MoeJoe on all of his sources. Look out for all of his courses. If anybody needs to, jump on those courses like ASAP, because I bet this dude's price is going to shoot through the roof in the next few years.
Well, the first one really quickly is my Instagram Stories Mastery. Like it really focuses on Instagram Stories, which
if you're not following MoeJoe, his stories are like a high level production, honestly.
Yep. I legitimately follow him on Instagram.
They're awesome. Anyways, MoeJoe, I know you got to go.
So
you're busy, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys.
Later.
Take care, guys. See you.
Bye. Bye.
He's a smart fucking dude.
He is very smart.
I was sitting here just like, damn, I'm like learning shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, not that I think I'm the smartest, but...
Wait, hold up one sec. Let me get to... Okay. I thought I had another thing already made up where I can make ourselves bigger, but OBS. I was trying to make ourselves bigger, man.
We are still on streaming.
We are streaming, yes, we
All
are.
right.
Because MoeJoe had to leave, but MoeJoe is... I forgot how much, like...
I know.
He goes, like, in depth into this stuff.
I was seriously sitting here thinking, like, the Greensboro salesperson, I was like, I wish that he would fucking listen to this bullshit. Like, god damn it, this is great.
Because I do the consultation rows. I was like, I really don't ask any fucking questions anymore. I'm like,
you just have your script and you're like, you shut the fuck up and listen to what I have to say, and at the end I'll allow some questions.
Like normally, well, I kind of like open like to allow them, but kind of like what Bar said, a lot of them are super dry and they're not willing to like participate in the conversation at first. So I never ask them questions. I'm always like, what questions do you have? And then they ask the questions that lead me down to the sales funnel or whatever what I want to talk about. But man, just that's crazy.
Our shit, literally, he says, I'm going to go through a spiel. At the end, I will answer any questions you have. Like that, he like tells them to shut the hell up.
Literally 180 from what
I know. That's what I'm saying. And I mean, I'm not disagreeing with him at all, but Greg.
There, I got his full screen now.
But like that, it's not like my approach couldn't be that also. At least a taste of it, like it's just sales mentality,
it's all sales. Like literally, it's I was saying like he sounds like a salesperson, but like the lines or what he's trying to get you to do is exactly what you hear every person that tries to sell you, but they never really consider the things you're talking about. They're always trying to convince you of what they want you to know or whatever, or what they want you to say.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
That was super legit. So let's have a look through this fucking chat.
I haven't really seen much else other than, David did ask about charge us personally if we charge different rates at different times, which both of us do.
There's a lot of details to that because, like, where we live, the reason people get married on non-Saturdays is to save money. Therefore, if you want those gigs, you're going to have to fight the price battle. That's just, that's all there is to it. Here, specifically here.
Some of that advice is all regional based.
It is regional based. Like
New Jersey is more limited on venues, so you find more Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday weddings. And your discount days are more like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, like literal weekdays versus weekends.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if New Jersey people...
And then also, it's it is regional to some degree on what your peak months are going to be. But for the most part, October is always October, May, April.
I'm so here. I'm always fucking goddamn it. But
you're always going back and forth.
Well, mid-April, like the second 2 weeks of April, through the first 2 weeks of June, and then it drops off because it's fucking hot.
The last 2 weeks of April.
Yeah, right. Yes.
You said the first two. The last 2 weeks of April into the first 2 weeks of June.
That's it. And then it slows down, and it's not dead, but it slows down.
And
then it picks back up the last 2 weeks of September, and then through October, and then the first 2 weeks of November, and then it falls off again. Yep. That is the peak here.
And it falls off way heavier in the winter than it does in the summer.
Way heavier. Yes.
It's like a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't know. It's probably even worse. It's crazy.
It probably is, honestly.
We'll have, $15,000 total Februaries.
February. February is
the
the worst. January is better than February, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, always.
It always is. February is the worst month ever, at least in our area.
I'm getting married in February next year.
Trying to save that money.
It's nothing. It's because I won't have a fucking army.
You won't have hell to deal with
screaming at me on the phone, and I can enjoy my day. And it's inside, so who cares?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And they are giving us a discount, so fantastic.
It's funny. I told Christina, I said because she wants October.
Oh my god!
If we ever, when we get to that stage,
I would fucking.
I was like, we are not doing October. We're gonna do a spring wedding if when we get to that point.
Spring? When is the spring?
Like right now.
What month is it?
April.
Okay. April. Yeah, early March. I told her
March, April is what I would prefer.
I told her we could do January, February, or the first 2 weeks of March, preferably as close to February as possible. Yeah. And we're doing, I think, the last week of February or something.
Nice. Any questions, guys? We'll hang out here for like maybe a few more minutes if anybody's got any questions. But yeah, that was I honestly am kind of like, that was a very intense conversation with MoeJoe. I
was literally sitting here twisting my stupid mustache.
I saw
listening. You. I always twist. It's so grossly long, but that was awesome. And usually I won't take a fucking word of advice from anyone, so that was awesome.
And he brought notes.
Yeah, that was good.
Any of our future guests listening, bring some stuff to talk about.
He's always
on
point. He is. Anytime I've met him, I've always been like, damn, that guy is like just with it. You know what I mean?
Whatever he talks about, he's like done hella research and then like knows his shit. Mm-hmm. He never talks about anything he doesn't know.
He's also very confident. Like, yeah. When I see him at conventions, because I see him once a year, maybe, and every time I talk to him, it's very like, he like will firmly shake your hand, eye contact, no hesitation on your name, obviously, but you know what I mean? It's just very a confident personality kind of thing. Not like a dick, because you get that from kind of assholey people too, but I don't know. MoeJoe is just a man.
He is awesome. Next 2 weeks, May 3rd, I believe, is the next Tuesday we'll be on. And we actually will be starting here towards the end of May with doubling up and doing every Tuesday. So that's going to be dope. We got Charles, Charles is going to start us off on that, and then we'll start filling in from there.
Show list. Let's see.
But Joe Bunn, it will be on here May 3rd. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about with Joe Bunn. We'll probably be just shooting the shit like we normally do.
That's fine. I have some shit I need to talk to Joe about. I'll just do it on the air.
Just do it on the air.
Yeah. And then we got Nick.
Yeah, Nick's going to be coming, and then Icon will kick off the multi Tuesday there. I filled him in on one of the Tuesdays because you overlapped him. He appreciated that, by the way.
We need to get a couple more on here, I guess.
We do?
We could bump David after
Chad.
I don't know. Yeah, right, we'll circle back.
We're off topic at this point, but because we're still live on the air. But
I just realized.
What up, people?
Okay, let's wrap this up.
We got some sick guests lined up for you guys. And if you guys had any suggestions for any guests, put them in the list. Put them in the comments. Let us know. Hit the subscribe button. As always, though, guys, DJ Life Podcast, we just crossed over 600 subscribers on YouTube, and I need to get more of the episodes up on Spotify and all that, but I will be able to do that now. I got time. Cool. But appreciate everyone for watching, commenting, liking. Join in live May 3rd will be the next Tuesday. We'll have DJ Joe Bunn, the one and only, on here to discuss whatever bullshit we come up with.
We might talk about franchising. That is a great idea.
That is that's his topic.
And I've got some shit to say.
Yeah, man, Eric's working on it. So, anyways, appreciate you guys. Anything, Eric?
I'm done.
Good night. Goodbye.
Good night.
See you guys. Appreciate it. Where do I? God damn it! I can't remember how the fucking do this.